Hey there, what are your names?
Flik.
Seth.
And what are you two doing this fine evening? What are you up to?
We are having a meeting planning civil disobedience action in response to the Supreme Court's decision if they uphold Proposition 8.
Cool. Tell me a little bit about civil disobedience. What's that about?
You talk.
Okay. Civil disobedience is a way of sort of. I'm going to start this part over. So civil disobedience is a way of breaking unjust laws, or breaking laws for to protest an unjust reason. And so in this scenario, the civil disobedience that we're doing, say blocking traffic, does not, it's not directly breaking the Proposition 8 laws, but it's a response that we're taking to protest unjust laws that are put up against us. And I think for our community in particular, where a lot of our lifestyle and a lot of the decisions that we make day to day are also breaking laws and are also breaking social norms, that civil disobedience is a very powerful way for us to send our message out.
Cool. Have you ever participated in civil disobedience before?
I have not.
I did twice.
Cool.
With one stock, one fight.
Tell me about that.
I had never before. Those were my first four. The first one was my first time getting arrested on November 15th for civil disobedience. It was a street blockade of the off-ramp of the interstate highway. And it was a really, really powerful experience, both in the planning process, which was very intense. We didn't have very long for either of the actions. So there was a lot to be decided in a very short time. A lot of outreach that needed to be done. A lot of planning, scouting missions. And then also in the actual action, because I'd never done it before, I didn't know what to expect. And even just in the way that you bond really deeply with the other people that you're in a civil disobedience action with was a very, very changing experience.
Why are you considering civil disobedience on Decision Day?
I'm considering civil disobedience on Decision Day for a few reasons, and for me, the most pressing of these reasons, and the most compelling, is that within the state of California, if the Supreme Court upholds Proposition 8, there are very, very few avenues left to us. We've tried the legislature and we've been shot down by the governor, and then there were court cases, and then it was legal for a little while, and then there was a constitutional initiative put in place that has stripped us of our rights. And if the Supreme Court upholds that, there are very few options we have of fighting for our rights within the system. And and at that point, I feel like the best thing to do, one of the only things that you can do, is you have to start breaking the rules of that system. And civil disobedience is a very peaceful way, and has a lot of historical precedence of kind of stepping outside of that and saying, this is a stand that I'm taking based on these principles, and this is a cause worth fighting for, even to the point of getting arrested.
And also, it's a case of once you have exhausted your legal possibilities, what are you going to do? Are you going to go back home and just not do anything, or will you get out and take action and be in the streets trying to bring attention and make a difference?
And there's a really big difference here from, say, there just being some law that I didn't like or that I opposed, but this is something that impacts my life, this impacts my community, this impacts you know, every other LGBT person in this state and outside of this state. And so it is actually a lot different from it simply being an outcome that I don't want, but it's being an outcome whose repercussions are changing the possibilities of who I can be and what I can do and what kind of relationships I can form.
And beyond that, outside of the LGBT community, that type of process for changing the Constitution should actually be quite a warning to everybody else as well, because if it can be changed to restrict and revoke the rights of one community, it can be used for others.
And can you say a little bit more to Flik as a straight ally, like who has participated in civil disobedience twice and been really active in organizing with us along the way? Like, what's that like? Why as a straight person are you willing to take these risks and make these commitments and do all of this work?
A lot of reasons. Initially, and probably deepest, is because it's my friends who I consider my family, and anything that affects and especially, well, that hurts my family, I'm definitely going to take action on and stand up against and fight for. But also as a woman, there's a lot more tolerance and acceptance of independent women within the LGBT community, and also as a woman and as a person of some color. I believe it's really important to stand up for everybody's rights. So in this case, it's the LGBT community, but there are also other communities that need our support and our protection. So it's very important to stand up for everybody's rights, whether or not it technically personally affects you.
Cool. Anything else that either of you want to share?